Greetings, simple mortals of flesh and blood. It is I, Miss Pepsiman. I have come to you from the 5th dimension to guide you through these virtual mazes in this playtest of the new simulation from Fantasia Malware, the Orchid Collector.
Hello, I am Chloê Langford. I am the Mistress of the Codex. If you would like to participate, please make a Twitch account, log in, download the Orchid Identification Guide from the link in the chat, which I will post shortly again, and post your identification suggestions in the chat.
Hello, I'm Gabriel. I'm the Orchid Collector.
We appear to be in some kind of floral labyrinth.
Do you see any
found
orchids?
an orchid, yes. It is a whitish orchid.
A whitish orchid.
Yes.
Tell me more about this white orchid.
It has a white petal on top and bluish petals on the bottom.
Aha. Okay. Tell me more, tell me more.
The column is pink. I need more information about this orchid.
I believe it's the taxpayer's orchid, also known as Nocturnus risi, commonly known as the taxpayer's orchid, can cause feelings of panic or dread, typically occurring during the first hours of sleep. Nocturnus risi has long been unpopular among orchid growers for obvious reasons. Doesn't sound good to me.
I will leave this orchid in the wild. I have a new orchid that I would like to pick. It is purely black.
Purely black, purely black. Is it pale, brown or grey, or brilliant black?
It is brilliant black.
I believe this is the widow orchid. Phaeacius discolor is an orchid endemic to Canada. It is brown or greyish and is often mistaken for a common mushroom due to its small size and lack of ambition, much like yourself, Gabriel. It is listed by the Guinness World Book of Records as the world's most boring orchid.
I refuse to be judged, by the way, but I will pick this orchid because I like things that are boring.
Dante Scanline concurs. Widow orchid. Lovely.
I request a key card.
Keycard. Keycard.
Key card.
Clavia, a twisted key with petals, cast with rare gadolinium metals, airbrushed with forest green dolomite and peach-colored cryolite.
Unlock the door.
The door is now open.
We have 15 seconds. Requesting time extension.
I will...
Time extension.
Time extension.
Requesting additional time extension.
Time extension.
Time extension.
Time
Requesting-
extension.
Requesting key.
I will use the key now. I will use another time extension.
Time extension.
Time extension.
Time extension. Are there any orchids in this game, Gabriel?
I refuse to be judged.
Time extension.
The riddle of the realm has been recovered.
This is an exciting journey.
The riddle of the realm has been recovered.
I wonder what orchids we will find.
The riddle of the realm has been recovered.
I wonder what orchids we will find.
This is an exciting journey. I will use a key card now.
Thank you,
This
Gabriel.
wasn't a key card.
Keycard.
I now have an orchid that looks... It's red, but it's very colored. Like
Okay.
a
Red.
rainbow-colored orchid.
So-
I will use a key card now. No?
Keycard.
This
Okay.
is an exciting journey.
It could be... Tell me more about the colors. Is it...
The column is red, the lips are blue, and the petals are rainbow-colored.
I believe this is the frigid sorcerer, Frigus maleventia. Frigus maleventia is an orchid found in Greenland. Contrary to what its name may suggest, it is not malevolent at all, but considered a rather polite and well-mannered orchid.
Oh, I like that. I will pick this orchid for my collection.
My friends in the audience, what do you think we should do? Do you think Gabriel should pick the orchid?
I will use a key card now.
Use the keycard now.
Thank you, Gabriel. I request a new key card.
I will use a key card now.
Keycard. Keycard. Keycard.
I will pick this orchid, this black orchid we had before, because it was nice.
Nice orchid.
We are at negative 16,000 points.
That is okay. I have a white orchid with a reddish center, please. I will use a key card now.
Keycard. A white orchid with a reddish center. Does the audience have any suggestions?
Exactly. As my favorite orchid collector, Alban du Broussard said, la fièvre des orchidées enivre le collecteur de son baume protecteur, le rendant étranger au monde ordinaire, supérieur en toute chose de l'esprit.
Dante Scanline from the audience says, negative points is okay, I think. Great suggestion, Dante Scanline. From Simon Goyle, taxpayer's orchid. Interesting guess. Can you tell me more about the orchid, Gabriel? Does it have a red spot?
No, it doesn't. It is white and it has a purple reddish column and throat.
I believe that Simon Goyle has recht. Taxpayer's
key card.
orchid, Nocturnus risi. Nocturnus risi, commonly known as the taxpayer's orchid, can cause feelings of panic or dread, typically occurring during the first hours of sleep. Nocturnus risi has long been unpopular for obvious reasons.
Then I will leave this orchid in the wild.
Leave this orchid in the wild. Keycard.
This is an exciting journey.
Relate Miko says, do not take the tax. Dante Scanline says, please click a Wolverine flower.
I will now collect all these orchids for my collection.
What a collection you will have, Gabriel.
I have the greatest collection in the world.
Wow, negative 33,000 points.
We are doing well.
The riddle of the realm has been recovered.
We are doing well.
Requesting keycard.
Keycard.
Requesting keycard.
Keycard.
Requesting keycard.
Keycard. Dante
Requesting
Scanline
time
says, wasted talents orchid cures dyspepsia.
Time extension.
Requesting keycard.
Time extension.
Keycard.
Keycard.
I have now a dark greenish orchid.
A dark greenish orchid.
Yes, it is green but pretty dark.
A dark greenish orchid.
Yes.
Could this possibly be the snagtooth? Toxitus semisi. Toxitus
Tell me more.
semisi is an underground orchid that contains an irritant, tetathrine linone cypresslian. The plant is known to cause the formation of little crooked teeth on the hands and the face. A laboratory in Algeria has developed a technique to mass produce Toxitus semisi, so plants are available in many stores throughout the US. For now, the commercial success of Toxitus semisi has been limited.
I will not pick this orchid.
I do
will
not
pick
believe
this
it is
orchid.
valuable.
I will pick this orchid and also this orchid. because
We
I like
have
them.
suggestions from the audience. Iwenioth, Snagtooth. Well done, that is the correct suggestion.
Wonderful.
Dante
Keycard.
Scanline, pink and orchid, pony orchid, please click. No, do not click. Relate Miko, we could use hair of the hound orchid. It would be a good moment for a hair of the hound.
Can you ask your fellow friends what this orchid is? It is green and has blue lines radiating from its center.
I will wait for the audience to make a suggestion, although I already have some suspicions myself. Tick tock. We seem to have an issue with our audience. They don't seem to contribute very much to this game.
The audience is too slow. I
will now take a moment to rest, please.
Rest
Yes.
time, rest time. Sweat grotto. You are a hand reaching in the dark. You find gritty, wet sludge under your fingers. You totter and sway into the darkness. You're an ungainly spider on 5 gangly fingers, all knuckles and sinews and gristly veins. You scratch through the mud towards the light. You find, nervously rooted in a shallow pool of glimmering liquid, a flower, an orchid in fact. Her stomach hangs in front of her, pink, with dark pink veins sprouting across it. Her wings are spread and spotted, and she is wearing a pompous little headdress. Like an alien empress, you want to tickle her tummy, like rubbing a genie. The cave is humid and filthy. The walls are sweating. The empress, her name is Peloria. She is singing, a shrill medieval trumpet, vibrating. The reverberations are making tiny helix spirals in the pools of mud. End dream. The audience knows all according to Existing You Did It.
Oh,
We have many suggestions. The orchid is Dividi Vidium. I have to concur. A species originating at the end of the 20th century, sharp, digital, and blazing 720p display, and essential for every modern orchid collector. It sounds brilliant.
I picked this orchid for my collection.
The riddle of the realm has been resolved.
As my fellow orchid collector Wilhelm Brettschneider said, der Orchideensammler entfaltet seine Tugenden, in denen er mit Fantasie und Einbildungskraft sein Leben gestaltet. Für ihn ist die Welt ein Labyrinth von Schätzen, die es zu besitzen und zu pflegen gibt. We have a green orchid. Keycard.
Keycard.
That wasn't a keycard. Keycard.
Keycard.
Thank you, Gabriel.
Tell me more about this green orchid.
It has a blue lip and red lines radiating from its center.
Does it have yellow stripes? No.
Yes, it has.
Yes?
barely visible yellow stripes. Keycard.
Barely visible. Does it have a slight purple tinge?
Yes.
I believe this is the fire eater orchid. We have some suggestions. Share orchid, French fry, wasted talent. Well, yes, we are quite a wasted talent, I agree.
I disagree. I refuse to be judged.
Nequix helmutius is an orchid found around the Baltic Sea. It was named in honor of Wilhelm Bretschneider, an orchid horticulturist and
This
an
is my
amateur
friend,
fire
Bretschneider.
eater from Germany. It smells like honey. Well, I respect your friend greatly, Gabriel. Pick this
I like
orchid.
honey too. I picked this orchid. I have another green orchid. I have two, by the way. They are green petals.
Green petals.
Red lips and a yellow center. They look quite nice.
The riddle of the realm has been resolved.
Does it
Okay.
have a very small blue
They are
fluorescent
gone.
highlight around the
orchids
edges?
are gone.
The orchids-
All
Where are the
orchids
orchids?
gone.
Where are the
All
orchids?
All orchids are gone.
Existing you did, it says. It is the Burning Man orchid. I'm
is
very
an
disturbed
exciting
by this
journey.
suggestion. Quite disturbed.
Oh, I remember this orchid. I will pick it again. We have a red orchid now. It is plain red with a purple pinkish lip.
Plain red with a purple pinkish lip.
Yes.
Could it possibly be the blubber glue bloom?
Tell me more.
Octogonia forensum. Octogonia forensum. Octogonia forensum is an orchid common in Russia. The plant lives no more than 5 seconds and is often mistaken for eye floaters. Octogonia forensum is also used as natural glue for making silk strings for traditional instruments like the French small guitar or the Italian babble mandolin.
I will now make a decision and pick this orchid.
Gabriel, I admire your decisiveness.
We have several orchids on... I think I will pick all these orchids for my collection.
Dante Scanline says, Ich hätte gerne eine neue Blume. Arwen Luth says, Loise orchid.
For the first time this run, we have positive points.
Wow, my friends, we are doing well.
I have an orchid that is white and red.
White
but
and
I would
red.
say mostly white.
White and red. White and
Requesting
red.
keycard.
Oh,
Key
this
card.
wasn't a key card. Key card.
Keycard. Does it have a red spot in the center?
It has a big red center, yes.
But no spot.
No spot, no.
I believe this is the taxpayer's orchid. Surely we've seen this before.
Oh, we have
Gabriel.
it. We have it again. I will pick it.
It's unpopular, my dear.
Yeah, I have a blue orchid for you. Maybe you
A
can
blue
tell me more
orchid? Tell
about
me
it.
more.
Key card.
Keycard.
Keycard. Taxpayer's orchid says pay our taxes.
I will now take a moment to rest. Achtung, Achtung, Achtung. This is a message from the Imperial Orchid Society of Orchid Collectors and Friends. Dear friends and colleagues, in recent years we have seen increased interest in the culture and trade of rare orchids. While we encourage fellow orchids enthusiasts to partake in these activities and spread the love of orchids around the Milky Way, we also want to remind our members that orchids are fragile creatures and should be handled with care and respect. When orchids first came to Earth, we worked hard to establish a mutually beneficial relationship based on principles of trust and the belief that every living creature, with the exception of tapeworms, accountants, and ferns, are deserving of love. In order to continue honoring this long tradition of tolerance and to encourage best practices in the care of orchids, we have put forth a set of guidelines from now on to be followed by all members of the Imperial Orchid Society of Orchid Collectors and Friends. From now on, the following activities will be prohibited. 1. The trade of non-consenting orchids of the genus Dendalis. 2. The consumption of all orchid, with the exception of orchids used in religious sacraments, rites of passages, and bachelor parties. 3. The culture of all types of racist, homophobic, transphobic, or speciesist orchids, such as all orchids from the genus Bistrostilis. On behalf of the board and the council, I would like to thank everyone for their continued engagement and support. With your help, orchids will live on. Sincerely, your friends at the Imperial Orchid Society of Orchid Collectors and Friends.
Green.
I wonder what orchids we will find.
I will pick this black orchid because I like it. I have now, I have a lot of orchids and I will pick some of these orchids for my collection.
I think your collection will be rich and glorious.
Well, it's worth negative 20,000 points.
I have another black orchid, but this time with a reddish lip.
Wonderful
Can you
work.
tell me more about it?
Okay, black orchid
40 seconds.
with a reddish lip. A black orchid with a reddish lip?
Time extension.
Time extension. Does it have red stripes?
It doesn't have red stripes, no.
Requesting keycard.
Keycard.
This is an exciting journey.
What an exciting journey. Relate Miko, says Bland Bob. I believe this is a very astute observation. Bland Bob, Lovia maculatum. Lovia maculatum is rumored to be an orchid of the genus Lovia. It is immediately forgotten when out of sight. It was discovered in the Andes of Peru by Carol Lloyd in 1856 and successfully introduced by her. A few years later, it was rediscovered in the same locality by Evelyn Reinhardt, and then a few years later by Alexander Grofniev, and so on.
I will take this orchid and forget about it.
It sounds very dangerous.
I like dangerous things.
Dante Scanline says soggy frill, top left.
It is gone, Dante.
We have now a blue orchid.
A blue orchid.
Yes.
A blue orchid.
Do you think I should collect this orchid? We have two of them.
Tell me more about this blue
We
orchid.
seem to be in a field of blue orchids.
Tell me more about this blue orchid.
It has outlines that are slightly reddish and...
Does it have a stripe?
no,
reddish
it has
stripe?
no stripes.
No stripe.
Requesting keycard.
Keycard.
Thank you, Gabriel.
Does it only have an outline on the lower leaves?
No, it also has an outline on the upper leaves.
I'm very concerned. I have no idea what orchid it is.
I will now make a decision. I will make a decision and pick this orchid, I think.
Is it a horizontal stripe? It could
No,
be
it is important to live dangerously from time
It
to
is
time.
worth
Live dangerously.
2,000 points.
Spider
There you go.
orchid.
I have picked
Suggestion
it.
spider
I have picked
orchid
it. I
from
have picked it already.
Nadibella.
I have a green orchid.
Green orchid.
Yes.
Okay.
Keycard.
Requesting keycard.
Keycard. Tell me more about this green orchid.
It has a red column and I would say purple or reddish lip. And it has red stripes coming out of the center.
Red stripes coming out of its center.
Yes.
Does it have a red outline on each petal?
Yes.
Requesting
I believe this is the fire eater orchid.
Keycard.
Keycard. One Quix Helmetius.
Keycard.
An orchid found around the Baltic Sea.
Keycard.
Named in honor of your friend Wilhelm Bretschneider. Surely a good orchid.
This is a good orchid. This is my friend William Brett.
Hannah Password asks, do we need two of the same? Felonious Monk. Orchid Citadel. Door of Destinies. Tapeworm orchid.
7 seconds. Time extension immediately.
Oh,
Time extension.
Time extension.
Time
Time
extension.
extension.
Time extension.
Time extension.
Time extension.
Time
Time
extension.
extension.
Time extension.
Time extension.
Time extension.
Time extension. Door of Destinies. Tapeworm orchid. I'm not familiar with
Do-
this
do-
variety. I sense a troll.
Do our friends in the other world say that I should pick all these orchids on screen?
Dante Scanline says time extension.
Time
Time
extension.
extension.
Time extension.
Time extension.
Time extension.
Time extension.
Time extension.
Time
Extension.
extension. We should be aware it is dangerous to have too much time.
I am hired as an orchid identifier. Do you have any orchids from the
I have
identifier?
a yellow orchid.
Tell me more about this
It is
yellow
a
orchid.
plain yellow orchid with orange lip.
Does it have a slight stripe of
No,
orange?
it is pretty featureless.
Existing you did it says, how are the humidity levels, Gabriel? You look pretty sweaty, buddy. This is the clickbait bloom.
This
Clicotus
is
downus
because
likes to be clicked.
The jungle is pretty hot. And by the way, I refuse to be judged.
The jungle is not erotical.
It is not.
Nadibella, clickbait boom.
What about this yellow orchid? Tell me more.
Which
please.
one?
It is yellow with an orange lip.
That is Clicotus downus. It likes to be clicked.
Oh, I like to click it too.
Dante Scanline says, look at your feet. What is on the floor of this jungle?
I will now claim all these orchids for my collection.
Maze Runner.
has no feet, Dante. I am not a simple mortal vessel like you.
Felonious Monk. What this orchid does will shock you.
I
That's
am
my
not sure.
kind of clickbait, baby.
I have now a white and red orchid.
A white and red orchid.
Yes.
Where is the red on this orchid?
The red is on the middle, but it's mostly white. The petals are white.
Does it have a spot?
It has no spot.
The riddle of the realm has been resolved.
Wonderful.
Taxpayer's orchid. Nocturnus resi. Commonly
It is
known
too
as the
late.
taxpayer's orchid. Don't collect it. Don't pay your taxes.
Don't pay your
Dante
taxes.
Scanline. Orchid Collector versus Maze Runner. Epic orchid battles of YouTube. Indeed.
Requesting
Keycard.
card.
Keycard.
The riddle of the realm has been Realm.
Existing, you did it, says Jürgen. Hannah password. The floor, yes!
I like this orchid, I had it before. I am waiting to find new orchids.
I want to identify an orchid.
I have a green orchid.
Tell me about this green orchid.
It has slightly pinkish stripes.
Are they horizontal?
They are horizontal, yes.
I believe this is the dwindler orchid, Flavonia reductus. Flavonia reductus is a plant in the orchid family and is endemic to Costa Rica. It grows in reverse, becoming tinier and tinier until it disappears completely. It is unknown where the orchid goes when it disappears.
Do you think it is a good thing?
Arwen
where it goes
Luth, dwindler
when it
orchid.
disappears?
Yes.
Can you please repeat that faster?
Do you think it is a good thing if it disappears?
Flavonia reductus is a plant in the orchid family. It is endemic to Costa Rica. It grows in reverse, becoming tinier and tinier until it disappears completely. It is unknown where the orchid goes when it disappears.
This is an exciting journey.
Felonious monk. It takes a screenshot.
I will click on this orchid.
Riddle the realm has been resolved.
Oh,
Requesting keycard.
Keycard.
keycard. I have another rainbow-colored orchid.
Tell me more about this rainbow-colored orchid.
It has rainbow-colored petals, a red center, and a blue lip.
A red center and a blue lip. A red center and a blue lip.
I know these orchids.
This is... Aha. Does it have a reddish column?
Yes.
Chocolate petals, perhaps? Elentia vietnamica. Elentium vietnamica is an orchid endemic to Vietnam. It was formerly used as a chocolate substitute, but is now rarely cultivated. Partly this is because of the difficulty of doing so, because it tastes nothing like chocolate.
This
It sounds
is-
a little bit useless to me, my dear Gabriel.
I will leave this orchid in the wild.
Existing, you did it. Fruit roll-up orchid. I too love a fruit roll-up on a Thursday morning.
I have a red orchid with a blue lip.
A red orchid with a blue lip.
Or maybe it is more magenta.
A red orchid with a blue lip.
Keycard.
Keycard.
Keycard. Could it be the lazy spatey? Latensia
Maybe.
lumen? Latensia lumen is found in moist to wet tallgrass prairies, sedge meadows, fens, and oil fields. It grows always a bit later than expected, thus being considered by some horticulturalists as belonging to the wider genus of lazy orchids, also known as Procrastinatus latus.
I will pick this orchid. I like lazy things.
Suggestions from the audience.
Oh,
Door of Destiny's chocolate petals. Arwen Gluth, glue bloom. Arwen Luth, blubber blue gloom. Dante Scanline, blood baby is an orchid with small, smelly, poisonous roots. It has a lot of blood on its petals. I'm sensing a lot of discord in the audience.
these are strange people you are talking to.
Strange suggestions.
Realm riddle resolved.
Do you think they're professionals?
I don't know who they are. It scares me a little bit.
The internet is a wild, wild place.
Our jungle is far better. I have another of these green orchids, but I think it was a good orchid. Oh no, it was a bad orchid.
Your memory is appalling.
Yes, I get old sometimes.
Relate Miko, I don't believe in experts. Relate Miko, orchids don't believe in experts.
Orchids don't believe in much. I have a plain white orchid with a red dot at its center.
A plain white orchid with a dot at the center. Surely our audience knows which orchid this is.
Requesting keycard.
Keycard!
Keycard.
Keycard!
Keycard. Dante Scanline. Miss Pepsiman should go jungle instead of running top lane. Relate Miko. I don't believe in experts, that's why we have guide PDF.
What about
PDF,
this white
a wonderful
orchid?
format. What about this white orchid, audience? Tell us more. I will wait on you.
Requesting keycard.
Keycard.
I have nothing to say to Dante.
Question mark, question mark, question mark. Audience.
I know this
Relate
orchid.
Miko. Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark orchid.
Question mark orchid. I
An
have
orchid
heard
of
about the
unknown
question
genus.
mark.
It was best formally described in 1902 by Rudolf Reichenberg, who gave it the name Stelabiatum gracilius and published a description in Die Flora der Deutschen Wälder und Moore. In 1916, Elton Jakob Weber changed the name to Ebiliatium gracilius. In 1924, Olivia Mara Quinn changed the name to Gracilium romana. In 1958, Chicago Sugawara changed the name to Rotundrus sinensis.
15
In 1976, 15 seconds, the International Conglomerate of Orchid Enthusiasts declared the orchid
10,
illegal. 10,
9,
9,
8,
8,
7,
7,
6,
6,
5,
5,
4,
4,
3,
2,
2, 1.
1.
Game over.
Game over.
Game over.